Okay, let's see. Am I not what? It says I'm streaming, but I don't see myself streaming. Oh, there we go. Okay, we are streaming. Das ist gut. All right, ZBrush is up. Now, am I streaming on Twitch? Oh, there we are. Yeah, look at that. Yay, team. But now I can't find chat on Twitch.
I think some things don't change. It's just taking the same thing.
And we need to hide the volume on this, right? Okay, that's muted. All right. I think we're up and running. It's always an adventure. My chat thing still doesn't work. I don't know why that is. That's a little annoying. We will figure that one out. Okay, that's OBS. This is YouTube. All right. I have YouTube window up. I have a Twitch window up. For some reason, I'm seeing no chat anywhere. I don't see that anyone is live yet. It's always very annoying. To my Facebook account. I don't know that it needs access to my Facebook account. All right. Oh, where'd ZBrush go? Did ZBrush crash? Or did I close it? Hello, kind and gentle folk. It's always an adventure setting up. Since I can't see chat, it's tricky. Will someone please respond in YouTube and Pixel or YouTube and Twitch chat to see if my chat's running? Because I am not seeing chat anywhere. I see myself. I see what it says is a chat room, but no one's chatting. So I can't tell if anyone is communicating or not. Okay. Well, I'm going to move forward. And hopefully someone will give me some information on whether we are... All right. So I'm getting stuff on YouTube. Is there anyone in Twitch's chat room? Because I still have yet to see anything happen on Twitch. Can one of you guys run over on Twitch and see if my chat room's... I'm still getting this weird like spinning chat thing from Restream, so I don't know... don't know what the issue is. Are we in focus? I guess. Okay. Let me downloads. refresh. Okay, let's extract this here. Okay, so let us load tools from project. And that is going to be Till Mueller's project. All right. And then we are going to go up here. Nope. Here. Star. Import. This one. Okay. And then we're going to go to this one. Import. Second one. All right. Yeah. Did anyone go over and try Twitch? Because I'm not getting any chat at Twitch at all. I'm not even getting where I can put something in chat. Hold on, let me see if I can figure this out. Okay. It's not even getting where I can put something in chat. Hold on, let me see if I can figure this out. Okay. It's not even getting where I can put something in chat. But for some reason, I am not seeing chat. It says welcome to the chat room. I am not seeing chat. But it says welcome to the chat room, and it keeps unmuting me. Super weird. Hi, Mert. So basically, if you upload an STL, an OBJ, or a ZTL, we'll open the files. So like here, frame. This is a file. Hold on, Control N. Let's try this again. Boop. Edit. And we'll go through, look at the models and the files, and see, talk about them. And that, if you only have pictures, we can look at those and talk about them and critique them. Yeah. So it's just so, if you're working on a file and want some input, that's why I'm here. But I'm having issues with Twitch. Because see, it says welcome to the chat room, but I have no chat. I'm not quite sure what's going on there. All right, hold on. Let's back up. Here it is. It says there are 10 viewers in chat. And no one over there is chatting. Or if they are, yeah, sorry. Okay, kids. I don't quite know what to do about Twitch because I'm seeing no chat there. What the hell? Okay, I'm not quite sure. Like, I can't even post something in chat. Like, chat's like totally just weird. Okay, this is going to be a very uneventful critique session for people in Twitch, because I cannot access the chat room is broken or something. I don't know what's going on. Okay, for those of you who, there's a link in the description so you can upload your models now. Oh, hey Jeff. Okay, I can see Jeff DeShep in there. All right, Jeff, I can now see Twitch. So it was just people refused to put anything in Twitch. Okay, but I don't have a place where I can type. Like, you know, like I can't post anything because I have no. Hold on, let me. Oh well. Hopefully they can read the title, I guess. Am I frozen over there? Or is that just on my side? Okay, whatever. Don't know what to do about it. I don't know how to... it's going through Restream, so I'm assuming that's something that they set up. I would... I mean, like, I can't even figure out where to type into chat. I can ask about it for sure. Yeah, that's not really, I have no control over that I know of. That's not stuff that. Is it just blurry and crappy? Oh, that's nice. So is Crowley here or Varus here? Yeah, I wonder if it has anything to do with my upload speeds too. I can see... I'm logged into my Restream. Everything else is there. It's just chat sits and spins. It's something's weird with the connection. I will talk to Ian about it later tonight, I think. Because I don't know that they have the same problems. It might be that I'm doing something completely wrong. Let's face it, if there's a problem, chances are it's me, right? I mean, my insane technical acumen. All right, well, I guess we'll get on with it. I have absolutely no clue what's going on Twitch, but I can see Jeff typing, so there it is. Jeff, could you do me a huge favor and copy the Dropbox request link and just drop it in there every once in a while, because I can't post anything. All right, guys and gals. So, what do we have here? Is Varus around? Or is this says Crowley, so I don't know. Hinterbeni, Kampfkroper, Volverbane. Are either of you here? We will start with that one. No? Okay, I guess we'll just start here. Okay. Let's look around and see what we have going on here. Now see, that one got through on a Restream bot. Now that's interesting. So is Restream actually... So you old man, we got you restreaming to Pixo. Someone typed something else in over on YouTube. But you're all not getting anything from Twitch. I know, right? Ground control to Major Tom. Your restream sucks. No one can know you're on. See? I'm a lyrical genius. You didn't know that was really my jam, did you? All right, let's see what we got here. All right. So again, a lot of this comes to stylization. The bulbousness of the anatomy. I think the first thing I would say is that the tail is rather bulbous along the whole way, but it feels like it gets thinner towards the body as opposed to the end. So let's get rid of these legs for a second and look at this profile. No, we're not going to do that. And then let's turn this on. Boop. Okay. We'll bring you on here. So as we start looking at the anatomy, we'll take this curve in for an example. And then see how it feels like it's shorter here. I think to sell this a little better, I would make that curve come from under just a little bit more. And then maybe just taper it a bit. So it feels like there's some thickness transition in the tail. Now again, you know, once again, these are your designs and your stylization. So I'm not saying you're right or wrong. I'm just giving you basic design issues. Because if it feels fatter in the middle, it's just a strange animal shape. So I would come up with something that has a little bit more girth at the top and then just a little bit of a taper as it comes down. Because very few tails stay the same thickness. So that's the first thing. Come on. And you can see here, you sort of have a taper in and then a bat. Now, having things that have these bat ends, bat as in B-A-T, or club. So they do often get thicker. You know, you have things that have that club tail, beavers and the such. But just make sure that that's actually what you want. And if it is, I would, here again, make it a touch more obvious. Where you're getting, where it look, man, it's like every stylus I have has been acting weird recently. Right, if you're intentionally making it club shaped, you know. And then let's make that smaller. It can still get thinner as you move along. And that just feels a little more natural. Even if you do decide to have that club end. So the same thing here with the toes. Very often you will have toes that are wider than the ankle when it comes down and in. But you do usually want to respect the ankle where... because right now this is almost like you're doing this, where this is your ankle and these are your toes. That very rarely is going to happen. So you probably want to keep... come on. This as a... let me mask the... and let's hide this groover. Where's our log? Where's our log? Because you see in the front you have like this web and it feels like it's actually in motion. So this is probably going to be... man, oh man, oh man. Very rarely are your feet flat, so you probably have this sort of transition into a wrist area. This comes up, and then usually you sort of have this shape going on, like those forearm muscles, and then you have a wrist that kind of does that. And that will give you this moment where you can have this wrist, right? And then this is the hand that's coming below the wrist if it's functioning as a standard claw or foot normally does. You're going to wind up with a shape that's something a little more like that than just the tube going in. And then this is sort of raising up and off. Right, these are going to probably behave a little bit more like that. And see how that feels a little bit more like an actual animal. And then we can come back here to these. And again, this is pretty dramatic in the sense of what happens to a foot. So let's see the best way to go about this. Okay. Okay. So if that's your knee, you're probably getting something that's going to be like a calf muscle of sorts. It's crazy. Most mammals and reptiles have very, very, very similar, structurally speaking, like joints, ankles, and wrists are all pretty close. And I mean, oh, yeah, no problem, Jeff. So you've got to think of sort of how do how does the anatomy actually work? Where right now it feels like if this is your calf and then this is your ankle, it feels like there's no wrist or ankle happening here, and that makes it just a touch off or a touch odd. So if we think about it standing on its own, right? So if it's standing flat, it's probably going to be doing something like this. And there's going to be a little distance there because there will be an ankle. Because there has to be room for it to move around. The foot, that is. And I would say chances are your toes aren't going to initiate that far out. You're probably dealing with something that's doing that, and then kind of that. And let me get this separated out. I'm going to holy Hannah. You made him 45 mil because of the texturing. I'm going to duplicate this, and I'm just going to dynamesh it lower. Let's make it like 3 mil. And that way I can thank you, Jeff. You can do it. I like how sometimes Dynamesh just decides to do it in like 30 different steps. Okay, so here we go. We're going to hide the tail for a minute so we can look at the body. Hide part. All right. So if he's standing like that, right? So now he's clenching over on a log, which is here. So instead of just distorting its angle so dramatically, I would think about how it would actually hold on to something, right? So it needs to get its toes up and around. So we're going to go... Hopefully that's everybody, yeah. So we would probably bring our knee up more. Take our calf back. And then crank the ankle. So it wouldn't just be the toes moving around it, you'd move your whole ankle. to something like that, right? And then you'd position your feet. So if you want your foot here, so now you position your leg to where you want your foot to be, if that makes sense. So don't just like collapse your anatomy because it's collapsible. All right, everybody. That's what I get for having open windows. All right, so and then let's take move. And see how that feels a little bit more naturalistic, like an animal is clamping onto it as opposed to just your you're just breaking your ankles and plying the feet to it's not just bending the feet around and making it super weird. See how that feels, at least like there's an ankle there, it's bending around. You could give it a heel bump or something, where that is a transition spot. Your ankle comes around. You're getting that going. And then into your front toes. Sort of like these where it feels like something's happening. It doesn't feel like you just put your ankle on the thing and then your toes flip out around the back side of it. So I would just say think about your anatomy just a touch more, about how these transitions happen. And it's safe to look at your own body when you do things like this. Like, look in the mirror and lean your foot super forward and just see what's happening at the ankle and where that foot is collapsing in and not. If that helps any. And then here again, making the tail feel like it's at least getting a little thicker towards the body. And then yeah. See, that feels a little bit more anatomically sound than just crushing it in. It should work. Are you having problems with that drop dock? Are you having a problem with that drop box link? Hold on, let me see. Oh, okay, hold on. Let me get a different link. I don't know why that happened. 1 second. Go to Dropbox. Where's Dropbox? That link has worked forever and a day. I wonder what happened to it. I guess it's going to be one of those days, isn't it? Pixelogic crypt. Oh, fold copy link. Or did I just not copy the whole thing? That would probably be, that could be the problem. One sec. Yeah. Okay, so that link works. Did I just copy it where the whole link isn't copied? Or is that different? No, it looks the same, doesn't it? Yeah, that one works. Maybe maybe it just wasn't complete there. Sorry. I think this one. No. Yeah, the one in the description says it's broken. Oh my god, I can't win for losing over here, can I? Hold on, where is that? Oh, you're killing me. Come on. Come on. Oh my god. Did that update the link there? Let's go back to there. Yeah, there you go. I must have, it must have, like, when I copied, so that link in the description works again. Sorry about that. Okay, download. Merp. Save. All right. So, I guess what I'm saying on this guy, look at your anatomy just a little. Your texturing looks nice, but before you get up into 45 million polys and start, I mean, just look at the shape of the ankles and wrists here, right? And then let's look at what you have here. Well, I changed the wrist on this. Okay, hold on. Let's go back to the beginning and see what you got. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. The gray screen of weight. And of course it's like YouTube's frozen. There's distinctly differential and lag here. Alright, so let's... There we go. So this is what you had. And that's what I suggested. So by bringing the knee up and giving it an ankle, you get it there, and then giving it a wrist and sort of an actual hand shape is probably going to make it look a little bit better, as opposed to just making it look like you have these tubes just jammed around it. The shape of the tail, right? Making it thinner to thin. Even if you want it here, just make sure that you get it thicker to thin as it starts to go down. And if you didn't want this as a club end, I just couldn't tell from this. It looks like you might want this to be a club. And I just made it more dramatic so you could see what happens, right? Also, very rarely are you going to have a tail that does not like come up and under these leg muscles. And you can see here it's interacting with the back just a little bit differently. So those are the major structural issues that I can see. But if we're just looking at the design and stuff, the design looks nice. Hold on. I got everybody's body turned on. Your textures look nice. Let's give you your textures back, not me. I think that the jaw and the mouth look like they are okay. The jaw and the mouth look like they're just look like they're just pasted on. I would like to see him integrate it with the jaw more. So I guess, at the end of the day, what I would say is make sure you're working a little bit more. Make sure the structure seems sound before you crank this bad boy up to 45 million polys and do microscopic texturing. Because these just look like they're bubbled on. You're not getting the muscular connections with the torso and the limbs. It just feels like they're plopped on. And in turn, it feels like the jaw's plopped on. So while you're still in a low poly situation, I would try to get the anatomy to feel a little bit more coherent in sound. Okay. And if you come back, we can look at it. All right, we're going to go to these. First, though, I'm going to come here. Is that a ZTL or was it a... Okay, that's ZTL. We can bring that in now, too. Look at that foot. Okay. We'll look at this first. I like your crinkle pattern. I like that you... Why am I... What's going on? This is only 500,000 polys. What is it? What are we doing? Right? Okay. I don't know what that was about. Okay, so these look good. The depth of the eyes will definitely make it work. You're polishing out. Your texture polishing is sitting behind the bright ridges, which will make it hold up better. That's good. It's going to sit pretty high. Sorry, I got yawns. It's going to sit pretty high on the knuckle. But with it spread open like that, that may not be a problem. I would be careful with this right here, only because if you're looking at where it's happening, right on your fingers. So if your fingers are sitting in here, and then you have another finger sitting right here, and then you have this like little fish hook thing setting off, this could potentially be very painful. Right now it's sitting within the side of the ring, so it might be fine. But I would just be careful about having downward pointing points this low on the ring, right? You got to figure that when you have a ring, you have the one finger, you have another finger, you have another finger. So really, it's sort of that like 132 to 10. You want to be careful of having things that aggregate to the fingers so you don't just get and turn it into a cheese grater. Now the other thing here is that this is pretty thin. I don't even have Skype turned. Stop it. Skype is now spamming me. It turned itself on and I'm getting spammed by Skype. Where's Skype and how do I turn it off? I don't even turn Skype on. When I reboot, is this something that happens? I don't even see Skype as an open app. Okay. Thanks, Microsoft. So I would just be careful of this also being too long. Let's take some measurements here. What sizes are we dealing with? Okay, it's a fairly reasonably sized ring. It's a little thin. You know, our thickness is, I mean, your thickness here is like points. That's just a little thicker than 0.5 millimeter. That's way too thin. You want the sides of these rings to be 2.5 to 3 millimeters. I mean, it's going to take wearing this. You'd be able to do this and squish this ring. This is really, really thin. And I mean, this is only like 4 millimeters. I mean, on a small female ring, 4 mils okay, but that's pretty thin. I don't have my calipers here. Thin. And then this is what's going to be, since this is the top of the ring, that's what's going to be sitting up against this crevice here. And so if you pull that up, you know, that ring is probably, how long is that? That's 12 mil. So that's, I mean, that's okay. I mean, you know, that's sticking up over the knuckle there, if that makes sense. So that's not bad, but that is all going to seat in that web. I'm just worried that that is going to harpoon your web and it's going to hurt really, really, really bad. And it's just so thin. I mean, I think I would like to see why is that? You know, see a thickness a little bit more like this feasibly. And on things that are this fragile, I tend to try to give the bottom a little bit more meat, because you go out in public and slam that on a bar table. Like if you're at a bar and you're tapping your hand on the bar, you like the good music, your ring's completely destroyed. So I would contemplate giving it a little bit more depth on the bottom. It creates strength in the part. And then, yeah, so now that's probably more like 1.5 mil than 0.6 mil. That's still going to be super thin, but that's still more substantial than where you were a couple minutes ago. My inclination on this side here, on this, is not have it go all the way across. Let's mask this. Oops. And so see, there's a channel there. I would probably stop that. You there? And then with slide, just what is going on here? Why do we have like just slide this edge in, and you can see from the front it'll look like that's the gap there, but it makes it where you're not going to impale someone with that point. And it doesn't really change the look that much, and it makes it much more wearable. And I think that I would probably take contrast, go into deformation, go to contrast, and just kick the contrast up just a little bit more. Oh, because of, I just stretched it, so it's making, here. We're going to go back before that stretch so we can show you the contrast. Oh my God, everybody stop. There we go. And now with contrast, you can see how it makes these edges. Now, I would mask this off because it's acting weird. Like you can just mask the front of this off so you're not getting... come on. See, I try to do things fast and they never ever work. And again, you probably want to be a little more careful than I'm being. And I would probably do this before I decimate. Kick the contrast up before you decimate. And then that'll make it cleaner too, where you're not getting those weird edges and stuff like I was getting a second ago. But let's kick contrast up. And when that goes into printing, that'll push the detail up enough to where it gives you a little bit more room. Yes, task manager. There it is. You dirty, dirty, stinky bugger. And then I will go into the startup menu and kill that process at startup. I like they just install it now. They're just like, no, Skype. And then I have somebody, hi, I am a foreign language speaker. Would you like to talk to me? No. Not right now. All right, so yes. Make it thicker. Kick your contrast up a little on the detail just so it'll show up, because these are very small. I mean, what was this again? I mean, you're dealing with, that's like 1.2 millimeters. So your depth of your detail right now is, I mean, is 7/100ths of a millimeter deep. So I just think that you're probably going to lose a lot of that. Yep, thicken it up. kick your detail up just a little, make it a little more exaggerated, and you can do that with contrast. Connect this little point even just in the back so it doesn't become a finger sickle for the web of your meat on your ring there. And then other than that, I think that's looking really good. The design's nice. It looks good. All right. So now we have your other one. I like the motion on this one a lot. See, this one's a little thicker. I still, when you're looking at your profiles, I still sort of want you to get things that are looking a little bit more like this, right? Because you're getting a little bit of meat on the bottom. You're getting a little bit thicker on the top because, once again, W, let's go Y. So after my thickening, you're 1.2 mil. So once again, you were almost like a millimeter thick, and that just is just way too thin for an everyday wear ring, you know. I mean, if it's for an event and no one's going to, you know, it's, let's say it's a really fine filigree ring for a specific webbing that's there for photography, but, you know, you'll never wear it as an everyday thing. You're going to just destroy them. So make sure, and you know, you can get your design done and literally just come here and do what I did at the end here. You know, just make it bigger. I tend to want it to be a little thicker on the wide up, and then I put just a little peak down here, right? And that just makes it, I call this little flat area down here a striking plate. I tend not to put a lot of detail on them because, like I said, there's a lot of steel and marble bars nowadays, and you go out and just do this once and your ring is flat if it's too thin. So I like the design. I like this little groover. Let's go back. We got like a, oop, there we go. And see, if you get more depth, you can kind of kick some of this stuff up. Where I do not want circles. I want you. And you can start to play games with depths where it becomes nice and you get a lot, because it's hard to get a lot of character into a millimeter of depth. So, you know, by kicking it up, you can do cool things like having that transition up, and then you have this, since you have this scoop right here, you can make that sort of a transition down, and so it's changing levels, right? And so that gives you something interesting to futz with. Sorry, these are decimated, so I'm not. Does that make sense? And see, that becomes a more interesting thing. Your shapes and forms are cool. And see, this doesn't bother me because it's not like a harpoon into the web of your finger. The other one is going to hurt. Yep, thicken it up. Play with some of the transitional depths. That'd be nice. Yeah. And once again, just kick up your detail just a touch. Contrast. Here, let's zoom in on this stuff. And like I said, you can see it going off in the background, but that's because we haven't masked it off. But you can see what it does. It starts to make some of this stuff sharper. And why you're getting the cracks like this is because it's been decimated. I found actually that decimating something and using contrast and inflate can make some pretty cool bark. Right? See this right here? So you can use it to texture as well. I know this is not for you, but I just forgot. I just wanted to say that it makes good bark texture too. All right. But both of those look great. I mean, your forms and shapes are really cool, and I like that you're doing stuff with negative space here as well. So, yeah, no, these are very cool. All right. Let's look and see what we have up here. Thanks for sharing your knowledge. No problem at all. Do you know any news of ZBrush for iPad? Well, we know that they're developing it, and so there's nothing concrete out there yet. But we know it's under development, so that's a good news. So I'm sure that we can expect some information along the way here soon. I mean, yeah, there's no definitive times or anything, but the new iPads seem juicy. I think I might have to get one. I have my iPad, but I think getting the new, what is it, the M4 chips are in them now. Oh, so sexy. They're fast. They're going to be, what is it, a 13-inch is what they have? And I mean, that's a 12.9, so it's not that dramatically different, but it's coming. We know it. I mean, they wouldn't have announced it if it wasn't coming. Let's put it that way. Because they don't announce a lot of things usually. Okay. Our good old doctors. Penny loafing. See, it's a high heel, but I think that you're normally going to get a heel return on that. Okay. Let me look at a high heel loafer. Before I make a bold statement like this and then I'm wrong. Okay, so let's go high heel. So, yeah, I think I'm right. So even in examples like that, hold on, let's go images. Even in fairly extreme examples like this, you're still getting a heel return. See here? It's not just a straight line. And this is a pretty extreme drop, right? Because a normal loafer, you're not getting... See, you have the scoop there, so it follows the arch of the... You're getting an arch of the foot. Let's see if we can find... See, even here, and this is dramatically higher than yours. See how you get this foot... Whoa, calm down there, Sparky. See, the heel is going like this, and then there's a return and down. But you're getting that arch bend there. And this, like I said, this is a much more dramatically... This is much more dramatically high than the one you have. Where if we go to the standard one, you can see that you're getting the foot. So you have to remember that normally a foot arch has an arch. So what you get is your heel usually flattens out, and then you get the arch that then comes down into your toes, right? And then there's a and then your toes. And I drew her toes a little low. But so even in the shoe make, right, this is just a straight line up and down. So my guess would be, let's do move elastic. Let's go, what direction is that? Is that is Z, so that's X. We're going to go infinite depth X. Boop, boop, boop. We're going to go move elastic. So I'm feeling like the shoe is no, I'm moving your foot. Hold on, let's go here. All right, what we are going to do is this. We're going to hide your leg real quick. And I'm going to go merge visible. Just so I don't have all those in separate pieces. Did it merge? Where's my merge? Let's try that again. Merge visible. There it is. Okay, so now we have the whole shoe. And we have this being infinite X, right? Yep. So let's go. No matter what, that heel cap kind of has to return, right? Because you have a heel. And then it's going to do something like that. And this is going to scoop up. So you're going to have sort of like a return as such. And that's going to be a scoop and then down. That is what I think is going to happen. Because if we look at your leg here, let's go back to your groover here and let's look at your foot. Let's turn everybody else off. So you're going to have a heel. And then see how thin your foot gets here. Your foot kind of does. That does that, and then that does that. You kind of have this comes around. But your foot kind of pads off right there. It's not a half round. It's sort of, you know, it comes down and it enters. You have your arch, sort of your secondary forearch, and then that comes into your toes. Boop, 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 boop. That does that, sort of, and that does sort of like that. Dun, dun, dun. Arch the foot's there. And then your big toe. That leads into that. Which then is sort of the heel. Okay, so we have that. Elastic. But you wind up having, right, that arch in your foot. So if we come back to your shoe, append our foot. Transparency. So this is probably going to come back a little more, only because your heel's going to need to fit into it. Alright. So that's that. Let's grab your foot. Infinite X. Oh, infinite F. I'm just going to keep pushing that back and forth. Right? Yeah, so I just think that make sure that this, I know I screwed your heel up there, but I think the shoe line definitely wants to be more like, this still has billions of parts. One sec. What the hell is, no, that can't be right. Okay. Is that one that far behind? I don't understand what's going on. And then let's, I flatten that out oddly, I think. Yeah, the bottom of the shoes form pretty oddly too. So you gotta think when you're looking at the bottom of a shoe, your heel is pretty even. And then on the inside of the foot, you have the scoop. And then on the outside, it's pretty straight, and then it kind of goes in. And then you're usually going to get a shoe that's a little bit, I mean, this is melodramatic, but it's going to be a little bit shaped like that, where this side's flatter, this side has a scoop, because that's where the arch of the foot is. Now, this can be, you know, perfectly stitched so it appears that way. And then they often will cut the sole to stick out, and that's often cut like on shoes, like especially kids' shoes, where they cut it to make it look a little bit more even. Or on men's shoes, they usually tend to cut this and accentuate that edge and give it sort of a more angular foot shape just because it's less soft, so it's a harder line, and it makes it just a little bit more rigid or masculine. So play with the foot shape a little bit more. And then, like I said, normally this is that a scoop? That's probably just from me moving it around, but you definitely want trim front. Yeah, so I would straighten this out. I'd kick the back out a little bit more so your heel has room. You may want to punch this just a touch, where this angle is just a little bit more upright, so it gives the arch of the foot a place to be. If that makes sense. Did that make any sense to everyone? All right. Yeah, so just where the shoe has a little bit more of that shape, as opposed to this just being a straight line. Because that implies a flat foot. And you might get someone to do that stylistically on the outside, but very rarely are you going to get a shoe shaped like that. Just because that scoop right there is what really holds the shoe in place, especially if there's any wiggle room, or, you know what I'm saying. You know what I did not check tonight? Hold on, we need to see if there's someone after me. Because then I have to be careful about how late I go. ZBrush line. No, you're not going to do it for me? Alright, that's in the morning. Creature character. Alright, so I think, yeah. Alright. Okie dokie. Did we get any other new things up and in? No, that's everyone so far. Okay. All right, so that's all the models we have. Does anyone, I mean, we have, a few minutes here. Yeah, did that answer the question or help? I mean, I don't have any other models, so if you want to ask more questions, please feel free to. Or if anybody has any questions about anything in general, I'd be happy to answer those for you. What are we thinking? Boy, it is hard with the lag. I'm not used to sitting there with... Oh, we're dumping people. All right. right? I know. Today might be a short day. If I can't keep people entertained, we just went from 18 to 8 people watching. Okay. Next week I will come with things to do if we don't have any critiques. I don't know, Jeff. People don't like critiques as much as they did last year. I don't remember we had lines for like 6-hour streams. I don't know. I guess everybody knows everything. Question for how to good control of the tube brush. Are you talking about like, hold on, where are my brushes? Brushes, tube brushes. Like these kind of brushes? And how to control them? Is that the kind of tube brush you're talking about? So, do you mean while you're drawing a curved line, or are you saying you want to have a curve and then you apply your brushes? So, like if you want it to do, where's crease? Give me a second, bump. Like let's say you wanted a curve pattern around this. I'm going to take this. I'm going to go crease, edge loop complete, and go boom, boom. So now we have a creased line. You can come into stroke, go to curve mode, go to curve functions, and see how this says creased edges. We're going to close those two off. So we have creased edges. We have curve on, right? Curve mode is on. We go to curve function, and I just have creased edges, and I go frame mesh. And see now we have this active curve. So I can come into my my brushes, and doing this, you can choose any IMM brush actually. So let's find something here. Okay, we're just going to use this tube. We just tap it, boom, and now that is following that curve exactly. And then that way, it's an easy way, like you were talking about doing wires or something. This tends to be, so here, I'll just make the thing smaller, boom, and we can change the size and scale of it. Make it smaller, boom. Well, that might have been bigger. Right? So if you know that you're running wires from one thing or another, let's say you have a box up here, if you just have your base mesh in there, you can come in and crease edges. That's an edge loop complete. Or you can go in and just crease edge loop complete, edge loop partial, poly loop, or just edge, and you can come in and why is this not creasing? Is it masked? It's masked. So you can use this to come in and just sort of lay in a crease line there. Once again, come back, go to stroke, frame mesh, creased edges. So now I have this one, and all I have to do is go back to my insert mesh, which was the one I picked. Where is it? Does that? What are you doing? Okay, no, those aren't hoses. I have one that's hoses and stuff. Where did it go? IMM spaceship parts. Oh, it's only laying one on there. There we go. And it'll fill it in. It should fill it in. It's thinking about it. There we go. And so you can lay out your parts. And I think I laid like 10 things up there. Whoa, all my buttons keep falling off my keyboard. And then stroke, curve mode, turn it off. And then in here you go stroke, curve function, delete, and now those curves are deleted. I obviously laid a couple of things on there. So with these, since they're multiples, you can select the one and move it. Why is this lagging? Lagger bastard. Well, making a mesh that you really want it to go, I think, is the more sound way. Like you can do. Hold on, let's go back to our little leg here. Where is hose? Stroke. No, I need to go to U. We need to go to tubes. Curve multi-tube. So you're saying something in the vein of like starting here and then coming out into space, and it gives you your tube, and like how to make this cleaner. Normally I would do this, and honestly I don't even mess with it at that point. I come in, I grab a big brush, and I move it. I usually find that to be easier than futzing with the brush stuff or with the curve. You can grab the curve and move it around. And that's it. The one that I find works like really well is where is it? It's like the flat ribbon brush. What's that? Is it this one? Curve strap. I think that the curve strap, its control functions are really nice. Like when you do stuff with it, I like its sort of flow. And then you can convert. You can change what it is, right? But yeah, I tend to not, like, I get it roughly in the, so like let's say we know that we want this to kind of go down and around. I tend to, let's go to curve tubes, right? You're going to be, my tube is too big. My tube is too big. Right, we're getting no depth there. But if I have it here, I'm just going to mask this off to here and then just stretch it or move it. You know, you can move it, you know. And then the other thing you can do, you can smooth it, remember. So you can get it smooth, but in the smoothing it does distort it. But, oops. Once you smooth it and then you come back in and change the size again, it tends to go with it. So that's an option. Yeah, it's tricky, to be deadly honest. When I want something to be really specific, I tend to like if I really want this to be something that is like, let's say there's a snake wrapping around her leg, right? I don't like not being able to control things. So hold on, let's delete stroke, curve functions, curve, turn curve mode off. And then I'm going to take you, split, unmasked. And then I'm just going to delete you. So if I want a whole lot of control over my tools, I find that ZModeler is a much better process. And I will just, let's go append a star. I'll go to my star. No, we'll stop that. I don't know what that was. Let's undo that. We're going to go here. I'm going to go W. I'm going to turn this into a block. And then I'm going to make it the size I want it. And then I'm also going to make sure that it is just one. So now that I have my one block, I know that I want, I'm going to go into ZModeler. And so on edge, I'm going to put move. On QMesh, I just have it on QMesh single poly. And then on point, I want it to be move. So now I'll come in, I'll just drag this edge over because I want it to go in that direction. And I'm just going to go this and this. And now I'm going to sit here and kind of work it around the model. I'll grab my point and straighten it out, grab this point, straighten it out, keep dragging out, move my point, and turn this on so I can see what's going on. Move my point, move my point, move my point, and then I can drag it out, come over here, get my silhouette sort of where I want it. And you can see you have a lot of control over this and where you want it to go and what you want it to do. And you can also use like move infinite, like with just your move tools and your curve tools. And because like you can get your anchors as well and just anchor and bend this stuff around. So you can do rudimentary bending and twisting here, right? And then go back to this. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'm just going to grab that. Move it in, move it in, move it in, move it in, move it in. Boom. 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 And you can see this is actually quite a bit quicker than trying to deal with getting the curve to be really nice and curvy and nice. And then the other thing, you know, you can always come in and smooth this down. You can divide it up if you want to retain it, smooth it around. Grab move and get it where you want it, really close and nice and tight. And you can make it super dynamic. Lower res. And so now you can really see where that crease is going to be. And I want it to feel like it's coming out of the shoe. And you can see I'm sinking this into the flesh because I'm going to use that top crease. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in here, I'm going to delete lower. Well, let's load the res and see where it is. No, I want to, because I want it to come up the middle of that face, right? So we're going to go up. I'm going to go delete lower. And now I'm going to choose which face I want. Nope, nope. Where's my move? So just need to make sure that the line that I'm going to use is outside of the body. And then we're going to come in and I'm going to make sure to delete these two edges. So we're going to come here, Z modeler. I'm going to go delete. And I'm just going to delete lower. Oh, delete higher too. Okay. Delete, 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 delete. And then I'm going to hide my shoe, hide my foot, come down here and delete these. And that way when we do an edge, it's not going to go all the way around to give it to as double. And I think I want that one. Or do we want this one? Come here, crease, edge loop, complete, and we'll do that one. And you can go through and see where that crease is going. Okay, so that's going to be good. So now I come in, I go to stroke, I go to curve mode, I go to curve function, creased edges, preferences, stroke, come on, frame mesh, creased edges. And that gives me that line. And you can see, even here, we can go back to move. And it should travel with it. Yeah, see it's traveling. Nope, we're leaving it behind. You have to do it before you hit that. Like before we frame it, we can do this. And just make sure that curve line is where you want it to lie, right? And so let's say we want that to fit more like that. I want to make sure that that's going into the shoe, so I'm going to take that and see now that edge is going inside, and we can make it where, okay, it's going to pop off away from the ankle here, it's going to get tight, and then here we're going to make sure that this stays below that ridge because that's what we want for some reason, and then boom, and then we're going to have it merge into that ridge. So now I take this, move it in, and just make sure that that is going in. And there we go. So now we have that creased. We're going to come over here again, go to stroke. We're going to crease edges. We now have our active edge. Come back to IMM brushes. These are IMM basics. Let's just use, oh no, that's not a, we need something that's a tiling pattern here. Grab that, let's grab this again. Or here, we can use a timing chain and then hit it, and see how now it's going where we had that line, right? And where it's holding and where it's not. And you can double test it and play with it on different curves to make sure you want it. We're going to go OK. And we are going to go stroke. We are going to now delete. I'm going to stroke this off. We're going to hit this. And now you have your chain and it's riding on your angle. This is slightly facing the different angle than we want it, but you can see how that's a lot easier. That's a lot easier to get the nice organic form than trying to sit there and fiddle-futz with the curves, because those are just like, I don't know anyone who's super successful with them. That they're, but with the anchor tools now though, like it's really nice because you can come in here and come in here and then twist. Is that masked? Okay, am I on the wrong tool? My control button. I keep losing control. My poor keyboard has just been beat to snot. Am I on the wrong one? No? We go back to here. Okay. Well, for some reason that's deciding not to work. Of course, whenever I try to show something that doesn't work. But I tend to find that just easier. Yeah. Yeah, it's... I've seen people get their settings where they can do it, but the problem with using the curve, if you even bring it back just a hair, it like crumples on itself, and then if you're dragging it up and out, even if you have snap-on, you're dragging it up and out, and then it's like, yeah, no, I don't have the best luck for real high control on, what are you doing? Okay. Thanks, Adobe Dimension. No, it's... Yeah. All right. And you can, of course, always just draw your curve. Like just, where's the curve brush? You know what I mean? Just draw the raw curve on this and then attach something to it. Like I've seen people get the tube straps work really, really nicely. I'm just way too much of a control fiend to get it to work well, I think. Okay, so we've moved it. Now will the anchors work? No. That is so bizarre. I do not have answers for that. The anchor's going to work here. Yeah, works there. Oh, it's probably because it's not one thing. It's working on... Hold on. Let's see. Is it going to treat multiple things as different? No, it just doesn't want to do it at all, does it? Okay, let's Dynamesh, right? Oh. It's because I didn't delete hidden. Delete hidden. Now it should work. No? Okay. Will it work? If the Dynamesh? Okay, it'll Dynamesh it. Will it only work on a solid object? No, that can't be true. Learn something new every day, I guess. Boo-doo-doo. Yeah. All right. Yeah, something like that. Anybody else have any questions or anything? Let me check the Pixelogic crit. Nope. Well, all right, guys. I don't know what to say. Next week, hopefully, I will be streaming from a different place. My landlord informed me that her mother died of her mother was my landlord, but she died of brain cancer maybe 6 months ago, and I guess that she got scammed or something, and basically she needs to start showing the house. So I was given like 3 weeks to find a new place to live. So I am going to start packing tonight, and hopefully I will be. My friend is letting me move into her second room, and so hopefully I will have a bedroom set up so I can stream next week. Yeah, I guess that there are no more. There are no more. What are those things called? Critiques. All right. So no one had any questions. So I guess we'll call it an early night tonight. And I will finish my packing, and then next week I will be in a new location, hopefully, and we'll go from there. Um, yeah. Sorry, there wasn't a lot of interest. Next week I will come with things to demo and show. Oh man, I hate Santa Cruz. This town is abysmal. It's like trying to find housing in this town is one of the most agonizing experiences in my life. I mean, I make way too much money to not be able to find a studio. Friday I went to look at 2 different studio apartments, and one was 3,800 and the other one was 4,200. Single people are punished in the world because you're not splitting rents. And since this is a college town, it's sort of like, oh, well, everyone's going to split rent. So, why don't we charge twice as much as any other place humanly charges ever, anywhere, always? It's just, it'll make me crazy. So, hey, Sean, how's it going? Well, my coworker said that I could just take over her second bedroom for now until I found anything, just so the stress isn't going to make me throw myself off a cliff. So basically, everything's going into storage. I will take the bedroom and turn it into something that sort of looks like this so I can stream and it doesn't look ridiculous. And then, yeah, there we go. Okay, since there are no other new things, and I could use the time today to pack, we'll call it early today. And then next week we will be in a new location. Everybody upload your things you want to critique. And like I said, next week I'll have some techniques to show. In case we get slow, I'll just go through and we'll discuss making stuff. All right, guys and gals, I truly appreciate it. Kind and gentle folk, have a lovely week. And then I will see you next Tuesday. Buy ZBrush. Go to Maxon and look at all the other groovy stuff they have. I've really started to have fun with Redshift. And yeah. Watch other streamers. Tomorrow's always a good day for streaming. Watch Ash and then yeah, well, okay. Everybody wish me luck and hope that I actually move without destroying anything or breaking anything, screwing anything up or losing anything, which always happens during my moves. Moving's the most stressful thing in the world for me. My OCD freaks me out. Here we go. Good luck, Tomas. Don't lose or break anything. All right. Have a great week, and I will see you on Tuesday. Ciao, guys. If I can ever figure out how to turn this thing off. Hopefully I'll figure out the chat thing too, because that's a little weird. Even though it does seem to be working all of a sudden. Okay, whatever. All right.